It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Can you talk to us more about the first deal that you were part of? I know you mentioned you made a small contribution, but what
Mhm.
was that experience like? 'Cause I'm sure being able to be on that project gave you a certain level of access, and you were able to kind of see how
Mhm.
things work. So can you talk to us more about what that was like?
Yeah, absolutely. So that first investment was a condo flip that someone was doing, and they were raising money on, and I invested $2,500. The minimum investment was like $5,000, and I didn't even have that. I was a broke college student, but I knew I wanted to get into real estate. And I had already invested, money into this program and that program, and I'm going into as many free workshops and seminars as I can. When you hear that the gurus are coming to town, or whatever the case, right? Oftentimes, not
Yeah.
only am I the youngest in the room, but I'm a young Black woman in the room.
Hmm.
And, I'm in the room because I want to learn and I want to ask questions. And, a lot of times I'm sitting there with people who are 2 and 3 times my age, at the time. I mean, I'm 21, 22, sitting here with people who could be, my mother and father, or my grandmother and my grandfather.
Hmm.
And again, I'm showing up because I'm asking questions. But yeah, so that project was a flip condo. I invested $2,500, and it was a 12-month investment, and I got my $375 back. But it was such a liberating feeling because literally I didn't have to do anything. I wrote the check and then I sat back and didn't have to do anything. But the good thing about it is that I was able to be a part of something bigger, right? Like, no way could I have taken on, $100,000 project by myself at the time. I didn't know how. I didn't have the knowledge or the resources. I was still just trying to learn and trying to figure
Hmm.
it out. But being able to be a part of that project, I was like, man, I was showing up and I was asking questions again, right? I was showing up and I was asking questions, and I wanted to be a part of what was going on. So, okay, this is a condo. So, we had a plumbing leak. Is that the issues of the HOA? Is that the issues of the homeowner? Is that, just finding out little things about this and that, and things that made the project move right along, and things that halted the projects, any issues or anything. And
Hmm.
the investor who I invested with, she actually said, she was like, man, you showing up, more than my $35,000, $40,000 investors. But that's because I was so intrigued and interested in learning. And I talk about this all the time, is that, that's an opportunity for people to mentor hack. If you
Hmm.
invest in a deal, because um, mentors for free, and they don't want to put any skin in the game. But if you, put some money in the game, now that gives you an opportunity to be
Right.
a part of the project, so you can show up and you can learn.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And something else that I want to pull from that story is that you mentioned that you made a $2,500 contribution to a larger project, and
Mm-hmm.
there are even some people who feel like what they have is not enough, or may not even ask. You mentioned the minimum was five, but you figured out, you were able to get in with much less than
Yeah,
that.
I just asked. I was like, please, can I invest? I know the minimum is 5. All I got is 25. Can I please, give you my money?
For sure. So where do things go from there, real estate
um,
wise?
yeah, so real estate rise. So from there, I'm trying to think. I was still in the program. So like I said, the guru program.
Hmm.
Also, I was able to network a lot. That was a nationwide program that allowed me to travel to other markets, network with other investors and things like that. I did go back and get my broker's license, because actually when I first got my license in 2013, when I was just, like I said, a leasing agent, I did that for a year and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. It's a lot of hustle for not a lot of money, as just when you're just working with rentals. But I did decide, I know that I could make more on the sales side. So I did go back and get my license, my broker's license, and at the end of 2017. Also had some other investments, some that went okay, some not okay, not so well, some, lost money on, and then also had some partnerships that didn't go
Hmm.
so good either. So a lot of lessons were learned there. At the end of the day, I learned to bet on myself, because I am a huge believer of not only just group economics, because I feel like there's a certain way that you can structure it to where you can protect yourself, but I'm also a big believer of, like, I believe like we can go further together, right? But at the same time, being young and naive, I didn't always have the right contract in place. I didn't always have the right understanding of, you know, what I was fully getting into. But I was like, hey, you know, you got this piece of the puzzle, I got this piece, let's put it together and make it happen. But definitely some lessons were learned in that. Definitely. And so, you know, again, fast forward. So through that, like I said, more investments, more partnerships, some tax lien investing, and some more flips, and then more so, like I said, getting into the broker side of things, which is the majority of what I do now, right? In Chicago, the market is crazy. And so that is the majority of what I do now. And it'll be going on, I guess, 3 years now that I've been back licensed, because like I said, I was doing my, you know, sales in 2013. I'm sorry, I was working with rentals. But yeah, so going on 3 years now that I'll be licensed. And I really just got my license, as a lot of investors do. Yeah. Oh, I just got my license to, you know, help me with investing, or so I have access to the MLS. I can, you know, find more deals and that type of thing. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna just help out friends and family too, because, you know, a lot of people saw me like going to these networking events and being with investors, and they would reach out looking for a realtor, and I'll always refer them out. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll get my license, and then maybe, you know, I make a little bit of extra money on the side. I had no idea that it would turn into this.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So a couple of things. Can you talk to us more about some of those, maybe one or two of those deals or partnerships that just didn't go as planned? And I also appreciate you mentioning that, because a lot of times we see, you know, social media is a highlight reel, right? I mean, I mean, as humans, right, we're most likely just going to post when things went well, you know, and I mean, it's not a problem, but I think there is another side. So can you talk to us a bit about
absolutely.
when things just didn't go as you wished?
Yeah, I had one deal where I worked with the investors, and my job was to raise the money for the project. And then the other individual, their job was to manage the rehab of it, right? Licensed GC. Like, I am not a licensed GC. I'm still not a licensed GC. It definitely has crossed my mind, but that's not really like my passion. You know, that's not my, you know, there's so many things, you know, that you deal with. But at the same time, it's crossed my mind more than once. So, you know, who knows? 6 months
Maybe
from now might be a DC.
Are you looking for a community of like-minded individuals and access to experts in real estate? Yeah. Are you interested in real estate but need more support and guidance? You know who it is. The Black Real Estate Dialogue presents the Real Estate Investing Community. No matter how much or how little real estate experience you have, we've created a community for you, because your perspective is important. All right, tell me, where's the #1 place where you can do Q&A with experienced guest speakers 2 times per month? How about unlimited access to past guest speakers' recordings? What about a private Slack channel to engage in daily discussion with everybody in the community to share resources and support each other? Head on over to blackrealestatedialogue.com. That's blackrealestatedialogue.com. It's the real estate investing community presented by the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Come join us today.
So it seems like like you mentioned, there were a lot of lessons in the beginning, and I like how, you know, you saw them as lessons, because a lot of people just generally, you know, naturally, when things don't go our way, we get very discouraged and think, you know, maybe real estate is not for me. But it seems like you just took what you learned and moved forward. And you also did mention that you're at about 30 units now. So can you talk to us about just all the lessons you took from there and how you're able to grow the portfolio since then?
Well, yeah. Like I say, the first unit I got that I paid cash for, which was an adjudicated unit, it was a duplex in the front with a garage apartment in the back. And I was able to, leverage that to go get more adjudicated units. So I got another triplex. I got a couple single family units that, again, I just bought cash for, so I didn't have any notes. So I was going in, and I used that $72,000 to purchase and rehab. So when I purchased those 8 units, I was at a standstill. And so I had to figure out a strategic way of going by buying more units until I can get those quiet titles. The quitclaim deeds signed to those properties to get the title insurance on the properties. In the meantime, I started doing what, we all know about owner finance. Owner finance deals is when you and the owner or the title holder, you guys pick up the property and you guys construct a deal that works for the both of you. And so I ended up talking myself into a 6-unit apartment complex. We purchased it for $97,000. The building is actually worth like $245,000 as it actually sits. It was fully occupied, bringing in $2,100 a month. So in doing that, the bank allowed me to I control the asset. So with me controlling the asset, it looks good on my rent roll. And when you show the bank your rent roll, you don't necessarily have to show where you owe or how much you owe, different things of that nature. So this brought my cash flow up and lowered my DTI. So in doing that, I had a bank say, okay, well, Jeremy, we'll give you a shot. I ended up fighting, getting the quitclaim deed side on another property, and they allowed me to leverage a property. So when they allowed me to leverage a property, we basically took one property. They gave us a $25,000 line of credit, revolving line of credit, and we started buying cash properties. We bought a single family unit for $30,000. So I'll tell you how we got it. We bought it for $30,000. We put $20,000 down, and I convinced the owner to allow me to do a cash out refinance, and I pay him the other $10,000 as soon as we closed. So we did what we call a credit sale deed. And then basically a credit sale deed is the person who we owe the money to is the first lien holder until we cash out refi and we pay him off. Well, the way it goes is when you close, the title company automatically pay off your liens. So your liens are paid off, then you receive a check for the remaining balance. That house appraised at 46, I think. And of course we took that cash. We had another property that had 2 units on it, and we bought it for $42,500. So I convinced the woman to allow me to give her $20,000 cash, and once we refied the property, we were able to pay her off, and we did that same thing again. We bought another property that had 2 units. We bought it off MLS. So we put $12,000 down on it. We refied it, and we bought another single family unit. And in our market, the equity spread is crazy. So with the equity spread being so great, it allows you to do a cash out refi. Even if you don't pull 80% of the equity off, it allows you to pull some cash and go make cash purchases on cheaper homes to continue to build that portfolio while making renovations to the property that you refi.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.